It began as quiet whispers in entertainment circles. Those close to Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa started to notice subtle changes, the kind that only people who watched a couple for years could sense. Mark, the charismatic actor known for his charm and confidence, seemed unusually tense. He wasn't the same easygoing man viewers saw smiling beside Kelly on screen or laughing during interviews. There was something distant in his eyes, something heavier than usual. Meanwhile, Kelly, ever the bright and witty host, carried herself with her trademark energy. But even then, there were moments, fleeting yet noticeable, when her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. According to those in their circle, the couple had quietly entered one of the most emotionally challenging periods of their 27-year marriage. It wasn't about fame or jealousy or even exhaustion from balancing their busy careers. It was something far more personal. Sources say that it all began when Mark reportedly received information that left him shaken. It was the kind of rumor no husband ever wants to hear, one that made him question not just trust, but the very foundation of his family. At first, he dismissed it. He told himself it was nonsense, malicious gossip, the usual noise that follows celebrity couples in Hollywood. But as time went on, the whispers grew louder, and the uncertainty began to eat away at him. Friends close to Mark describe him as deeply conflicted. He loved Kelly, always had, but the thought that something might be amiss gnawed at him. He became quieter, more introspective. Late-night conversations turned into silence. He spent hours alone, reflecting, trying to separate fact from fiction. According to insiders, after weeks of emotional turmoil, Mark made a decision that would change everything. He needed answers, not because he didn't trust Kelly, but because he couldn't silence the doubts echoing in his mind. What happened next left him devastated. The results of his search for the truth, while not conclusive, only created more questions. They didn't confirm the rumors, but they didn't completely dismiss them either. The uncertainty tore at him, pulling him into an emotional spiral he couldn't escape. Imagine being Mark Consuelos, a man admired for his strength and loyalty, suddenly feeling unsure of everything he believed in. Friends say he broke down in private moments, unable to process the confusion, guilt, and pain. It wasn't just about trust, it was about identity, about love, family, and the fear of losing everything he cherished. Those close to Mark described this period as one of the darkest of his life. The man who once lit up every room now seemed consumed by doubt. Kelly Ripa, on the other hand, was reportedly stunned when she learned about the storm brewing in her husband's heart. Friends say she was heartbroken, not just because of the rumors, but because of how deeply they had shaken Mark. Kelly, known for her strength and grace, stood firm. She denied any wrongdoing and was determined to protect her marriage. "We've built our family on love and honesty," she reportedly told a friend. "Nothing can destroy that." To put the matter to rest once and for all, Kelly insisted on taking every step necessary to clear the air. This time, the truth emerged loud and clear. The rumors were unfounded, completely false. For Mark, it was both a relief and a humbling realization. He wept, not out of anger, but from the guilt of ever doubting the woman who had stood by him through everything. According to those close to the couple, Mark apologized to Kelly in a deeply emotional moment, admitting that his fear had overshadowed his faith. Kelly, in turn, comforted him, not with words, but with quiet understanding. In the months that followed, the two made a conscious choice to rebuild, not just their trust, but their connection. They spent more time together, away from the cameras, focusing on what truly mattered: their love, their family, and their shared history. Insiders say that Mark became even more devoted to Kelly after that experience. He began prioritizing the small moments, the laughter over coffee, the late-night talks, the family dinners. Kelly, too, was said to be more protective of their marriage, choosing to keep certain aspects of their private life away from public scrutiny. For a couple who had spent nearly 30 years in the spotlight, this chapter brought them something unexpected: renewal. Their love story, once tested by doubt, grew stronger in its aftermath. Those close to the couple described their bond today as unshakable, rooted in compassion and forgiveness. At the end of the day, the story of Mark and Kelly isn't about scandal. It's about being human, about how even the strongest couples can face moments of fear, and how love, when it's real, has the power to heal. For Mark, those tears were more than sorrow. They were a cleansing, a release of fear, and a reminder of what truly matters. And for Kelly, they were proof of endurance, that love built over decades doesn't crumble at the first sign of doubt. Together, they weathered the storm and emerged stronger than before. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as emotional and heartfelt as we did, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and tell us what you think about Mark and Kelly's journey through love, fear, and forgiveness. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story from the world of your favorite stars.